Hello and welcome to Know the Good, Good to Know podcast, episode 18. And today is a very special episode.
A very, very special
because we have a guest, our first ever guest.
Breaking our guest virginity.
Guest virginity. So we're going to give good news and we're going to speak to our guest. So, roll the intro. Hello. Welcome back.
Welcome. We need to do a full-on guest intro. I feel like.
I don't know how do we do it.
Well, I've been watching some of your stand-up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I've broke it up already, so it should be a case of welcome to the stage, Jack Campbell, and then everyone goes.
You sound like you're booing. Right?
Get off stage. So yes, we have. I mean, everybody should who's listened to the podcast has probably heard us refer to Jack on numerous occasions.
So many times. You've been brought up.
Funny Jack.
I've listened to all the episodes.
I know.
Yeah.
You're an avid listener. I'm happy about that.
How do you know I listen to it? What kind of algorithm?
Ryan's told me.
Or you just
I
we
just
got
go
some-
off what you tell me.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
we got some secret stuff. Well,
Yeah.
we've had well, actually no, it's advice more than anything. The occasional voice note on Ryan's phone saying you should do this and this and this, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we should.
Would you try?
None of it.
No.
None of it whatsoever.
Listen to the professionals. That's how I feel.
No, I usually listen to it on my walk to the gym
Okay.
on a Monday.
Ah.
I listen to it and then have a chuckle when it gets to wow.
Yay.
That's good to know.
Do you like the facts?
It's the one thing.
You're a fact person. So.
I do like the facts. This is going to sound like I'm going in hard with a critique, but it's not
Go
a
for
critique because I find it really funny and I don't ever want you two to change.
Okay, fair.
It's basically a podcast of two boys going, what's that word?
Oh.
Over and over again. Yeah, that person who was in that film. Yeah. What's that?
That guy.
What's that thing? All of that could be edited out, but I like that you keep it in.
Yeah.
Keep it quite raw, yeah.
Yeah. I think it makes it really. I think it's of the area.
So on brand.
All
The fact
of
that you just
all
did
of
it.
the fens is a bunch of people clicking. What's that thing? We don't know
I can't remember
what it is. And then, but it's like watching a quiz show at home.
Oh,
Where
okay.
you know the answer to it, but I think if I was in the moment, I would also
It's one of
be
the,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Maybe I've been.
That's a good way to refer to it.
It is.
But I'm glad you're aware of it.
Yeah.
As well.
I might have been doing it on purpose.
I don't think so.
No, I'm definitely not.
It's not offensive.
Audience participation at home. You can guess the word if you get it in.
Yeah.
I'm not going to know, but who knows?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, considering you've just come off your old hollybobs,
Yep.
and I'm coming out of moving out of the house.
It's been a very busy week.
It's been absolutely hectic, but we're here. We're doing a podcast, so I have got some stories. I have found some time to do some good news stories. But before I get into any of that sort of stuff, I did want to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm going to rattle off the first one.
I don't think we've even said my name.
Jack
Yeah,
Campbell.
Jack
Yeah.
Campbell.
We'd have said my name.
Yeah.
Did a big intro.
That little moment
Jack
there.
Campbell.
Have we said my name? Yeah.
Yes, I have.
So maybe I should give a brief intro.
You should probably do that first. Yeah, that's.
So
I'm jumping.
this is
the gun.
Jack.
Yep. If you
Say
don't
hi,
know
Jack.
Jack, you've
That was
heard him
brief.
on the podcast
That was
being
very brief, Ryan.
You've been
This
mentioned
is Jack.
several times.
Yeah, we've got two Jacks, haven't we? That's the problem.
This is the famous
We
Jack.
kept saying funny Jack.
Yeah.
And not so funny Jack.
Yeah.
Just because you're a comedian,
Mm.
which I'm sure. Oh, tell us a joke.
Or even
I
at a-
like gets that. Yeah.
Chat about it even on the drive here. Like you're not the only one who does it. Where some people are like jump to famous.
Oh yeah.
I'm clearly not famous.
Oh no. I'm just more famous than we are.
But in
Way
the
more.
sense where, like a comedian, Jack. I don't know. Is a better way.
Yeah.
I prefer that. I wish I was famous, Jack.
Give it time.
Yeah.
Give it time.
Yeah.
One day, lucky
Yeah.
break, it might happen. Anyway,
Yeah.
Jack is my longest and dearest friend.
Oh,
That's how we know each other.
We're a week apart in age.
oh really?
So just
Actually,
be
to
my
be
birthday.
fair-
It's his birthday in a few days.
I think I knew that because obviously you used to hang around with like Scott and people like that in
No,
summer.
we're in different years.
Ah.
So
He's
I'm
a
the
year
oldest
below.
in my year.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Ryan's one of the youngest.
I'm learning so much.
different years.
I call his mum Auntie Sue.
I thought I was leading somewhere
Yeah, yeah,
already.
I call his mum.
I call his mum up.
I just call his mum
Yeah, call his mum.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like known each other for a very, very long time. I think my mum says she's your sister's god mum, but
Who knows?
who knows? That's standard village lies.
But we just grew up. We
Yeah.
grew up together. So.
But when I think back on it a lot as well, but in school we didn't really hang out
No.
Oh.
because it was two different years. So Ryan would have gone up to secondary school
Yeah.
the year before me.
That makes sense.
So we always had different mates. But then outside of school, I think we like hung out quite a bit. And then I don't know. I think like when I went to uni, there was a bit, and sixth form as well. I think we would actually like go out more together.
Get a bit older.
I've told a few stories about our childhood, like the connects on the stairway where we just build the cars out of connects, smash them up, see who survives.
Oh yeah, like robot wars.
Yeah, like robot wars. Yeah, that's what we're
talking about. Yeah.
What is it? My sister still brings up that me and Ryan. She used to have like Pappy in my pockets.
Never.
I remember it. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
Right. I couldn't remember the connects thing, and I played along with that.
How
very
did you
well.
not remember that? We used to do it all the
I can't
time.
remember it. Like it's I don't know, trauma.
Terrible
I
friend.
can't remember. It's gone out of my head. But you don't remember the Pappy in my pockets? My sister.
No, I can't remember
loads
that.
and loads of little toy puppies, and we filled up the box with baked beans.
Oh, I do remember this.
There we are. Yeah.
Yes, we did do that.
What?
Yes, we did do that.
Filled it out with baked beans and left it in there.
All of our toys just filled with baked beans.
Yeah.
Swimming in baked beans.
Yeah. We had like micro machines.
Oh man,
And had loads of them, but then I don't think they do it anymore. Where they make like the actual metal.
Yeah.
I think they've stopped doing.
Yeah.
Because I play with them in the bath and they rust like, all the time. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and we carried on doing that until we were about like 30. So that was what was going on there for a long, long time. You came and visited me a couple of times. Did I ever stay at yours in Nottingham? Or maybe I came and just I think I stayed there once. And in your your room in Derby.
Oh yeah, it was literally
That
a
was
box
about this size.
It was literally about this size.
Studio apartment sort of thing.
Literally like a room in a house.
Just a bed on the corner.
They had everything. Yeah.
Kitchenette in the other corner.
Yep. Exactly that.
Really?
Yeah, exactly.
As if. No way. I was just.
Yeah.
I
I have a thing that because I still picture you as Reese's younger brother.
Oh, everyone from
but then
where we used to live still pictures me as that.
I've like my memory from I once was hanging out with Reese and we were playing Rocky on PlayStation 2. He had like a Rocky fighting game.
No way.
I don't think I'd ever hung out with him before. Like he was like a
social pariah.
Well, no, he's just like. I think I was just walking past and he just called me in. Like, do you want to play Rocky?
That is
I don't really
Reese.
like Rocky. I don't really like boxing or anything like that. But yeah, and then I must have just been there for like an hour.
That's him.
In me and him on a tiny single bed. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. But
how do I find yourself in this situation? Yeah, that's Reese. He's like that through his entire life. To be fair,
He's calling random boys in.
Not just random boys, but old grannies.
Which is a village.
Yeah,
that's
much.
his village.
It's a village community.
Yeah.
Thing. So like, but I come back every now and then. So my mum still lives around here, as does my sister. And then, but tomorrow I'm going to Budapest.
Oh, okay.
Got to get to the airport, leave at like 2. Me and my mum are going on a little holiday.
Oh,
just me and my mum for my birthday and her birthday.
I thought you were following.
60th, isn't it?
It's my 60th.
Oh. You look great for your age. Damn.
It's my mum's 60th. I was trying not to say that on the podcast.
Okay.
Because the more people that she keeps on saying it's her 60th year, she won't even say it's her 60th birthday.
She's celebrating. She's doing a lot of things for her 60th, though, isn't she?
Yeah, which I think is.
She's making
I
it
think
like
that's the
like you said
only
about
way she could do it because I don't think she could handle. She's a bit of a glamour man, and I don't think she could handle like doing like. So she's doing like loads of little things, but so we're going to Budapest. Which would be quite nice.
So you are truly following like sort of comedic footsteps. Are you going to record the entire thing and have a Netflix special?
No,
sort of
they're awful shows where comedians take their
I literally just clicked about what you were saying about.
Oh no,
Jack Whitehall is dad.
Oh
like,
God,
why?
Yeah, now I'm just going to enjoy like, but even with like the social media side of it, it's like I don't want to take any. Like like when people like take a photo of their kid and they put like a smiley face emoji over it. Like, I want to do that with my mum. On a cruise on the Danube River, of just like just having a smiley face. With my mum, just so because she would hate it, even though she's a glamour mum. Yeah, she doesn't like any photos. I think I've got 2 photos of me and my mum together.
Oh, so it's not just a glamour mum; it's a full-on diva mum.
Yeah.
Diva, fair.
That's basically it.
Sounds like a nice lad.
Good intro.
Lass, should I say? Okay.
So you're going to a story? Let's do a
jump
story.
into questions.
Oh, questions.
Yeah,
okay.
You bypass that one. All right, I'll shoot with an easy one. I say it's an easy one. It's one that you've probably been asked if you've been on any other podcast before, which is what made you become a comedian? Or why did you become a comedian, should I say? What got
I got into right. There's quite a couple of things. I started doing it when I was 19, when I was at uni.
Okay, yeah.
First year of uni, someone set up a stand-up comedy society. I wasn't really used to the idea of any, when you go, there's all these societies, Freshers Week and all this kind of
okay,
stuff.
yeah.
And so they had one there, and my friend Tom Harper, I think you've met Tom.
Yeah.
He did drama as a degree, and so most of the people doing like a lot of people on drama degrees do stand up as a module.
Yeah.
So he did it, and I was like, oh, that looks great. But I already loved it, even when I was in, especially around like year 11, sixth form.
Okay.
Yeah. And my three, and sorry if I'm going to answer any other
That's
questions.
Right. No.
So I remember Alan Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's on QI quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think you look a bit like Alan Davis if you grew out your hair.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I don't see
I
that.
see it.
But
No,
okay.
I see
You
it.
grew out your hair a little bit because it's a bit wavy. So I had a VHS of him.
Okay.
And that was like 99, 2000. So I used to just watch it. Like when you'd watch The Simpsons and you didn't understand the joke.
Yeah.
And then you watch it again and you're like, oh, I get that now because I'm older and whatever.
Yes.
So that kind of happened a lot with the Alan Davis one. And then there was a Robin Williams one on VHS as well, which again, you just see lively, but probably too young to be watching it.
Yeah.
But loved it. And then Billy Connolly. So I was just watching those three quite regularly a lot. I just always kind of loved it.
Yeah.
And when do you remember LimeWire?
Yeah.
And so everyone's just downloading their favourite music, but I would just type in stand-up comedy just because I loved listening
Oh
to it.
wow, okay,
So
yeah.
I'd listen to it on the bus to school and stuff like that. I had like little odd clips.
Yes,
So it'd be like 5 minutes. There was a 15-minute long Jim Carrey one.
What you could get offline, sort of
yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And then sometimes it's just nothing.
Yeah.
Like, and you've been absolutely had. And so I really loved it. I didn't have I think now there's probably more people getting into stand-up because it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so I was like, I really want that. I had no interest in that
Okay.
of it. I just thought it was quite like a fun thing to do. And I think also where it wasn't like, and again, you'll find some comedians where it's just like, oh, well, I was kind of the loser out of my mates.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I had a very like funny group of friends. We were all like just generally like a bunch of like goofy boys.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was this opportunity to do it at uni. My friend Tom did it twice. After the second one, he didn't like it, and I just carried on doing it because I just loved it.
Yeah.
And it was like you do it there, and it's really, really lovely and supportive. But then that wasn't enough. Whereas it's like, okay, I want to try going somewhere else and doing it somewhere else and somewhere like, and then you end up going all over the place. And I've been doing it. So now I'm 34 on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Mm,
Sunday.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah. Either way.
It's been that good a life. You've forgotten. Yeah.
Been doing it since then, and it's had like ups and. There's been no I suppose I need to be more positive about it. There's no downs.
Yeah.
On it. But it's the shift of when it becomes a job and like.
Yes.
And then when you go self-employed and all that kind of stuff. Like, I've never. And then like after finishing uni and coming back and stuff like that and all the changes there. I think I've answered probably 3 questions.
No, I was gonna say it. Well, I mean that was. I tried to do an easy one, but no, that's pretty cool. To be fair, I'd say not like you said. Most people that get into comedy are there because they just see it and they see it everywhere, and it's like
TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff
Yeah,
where there is like beefs.
Yeah.
The Edinburgh Festival's just finished, and so there's a load of like influencer comedians, YouTube comedians. Like my brother, there was one year. Probably about 8 years ago or something like that. He was like, oh, you got to go see this guy from YouTube. And then you look at the reviews and he's getting like 1-star reviews from it. Because it's just like, well, yeah, because it's different. Of course. Calling someone like a prick on YouTube and then transferring it to like live stand-up comedy. And sometimes it works. And some comedians, a lot of comedians, some of the biggest podcasts are comedian-led. But yeah, whereas like, I didn't really know what I was getting into when I started doing it. Mm-hmm. And that's probably also why I'm at the point where I'm at, because I still don't know what the plan is.
Just muddling through.
And then because of there's also some comedians where they're coming from backgrounds. Jack Whitehall. Yeah. Doesn't even need to do it.
Like,
doesn't need to do it whatsoever. And so there's like, and so it's juggling that of like, is this a very selfish thing to be doing? Is it necessary? But then it's led me to like have all these quite odd jobs and moving around and stuff like that. So.
Well, I mean, you've watched Robin Williams, so I'm guessing there's an element of Patch Adams in there.
Yeah, like, you know, just being like, I've never watched Patch Adams.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, okay,
like,
fair enough. I suppose that's a very cliche aspect of comedy, though.
It's more my favourite like bit of Robin Williams is when he's the bat in Fern Gully. Do you remember that?
Yes.
He just like, like,
It's funny you say that. I literally got sent for something yesterday saying they're going to make a remake.
of
Fern Gully. Why?
Then they said it's a fake because it's such a.
Oh, yeah, no, it
they
doesn't
remake
need a
all the
remake.
Disneys, don't they?
Doesn't
like
need
a
a
new
remake.
animated.
But
Yeah,
I
it's
think that would be out of all the ones to remake, Fern Gully would be one of the best because of the message
Yeah, I
Well,
guess so. Yeah,
yeah.
this day and age. Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Very-
Avatar's very close to Fern Gully, right?
Yeah.
The concept.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so it was that, and then like I've always really liked a lot of the American ones.
Yeah.
And I'm realising it more, and I'll write. I make notes on my phone about any kind of thought that I've had. So I've always been quite a contrarian.
Okay.
And it's to my own detriment. Like when there's people who I never really liked football until I was like 12.
Okay. Yeah.
And the only way I could get into it was Football Manager 2002, which we still
play.
Yeah,
I've
we
got
can.
a little laptop
Yeah.
which we kind of share.
Mm.
We communally share
I
it.
at the moment.
You're
But
dual
it's a
managers.
22-year-old game,
Yeah.
and like it cuts out all the time,
Yeah,
but it's great.
it's
And the same with stand-up sometimes as well, like where I think if too many of my friends got into it, some people hate it,
Mhm.
which I find really funny. Like
Mm.
where I've done gigs and people have at the break and you're outside or whatever. There was one in Leicester, a little tiny restaurant, and there was this lady left the restaurant just like, I hate comedy. Just hate it so much. Well, me and my mate Ben had just been on, and we were like, why come?
Mm.
to-
Yeah.
The night was called like Nibbles and Giggles. Like, it's, you know, you have a meal, pie and comedy. That's what it is. And so, but some people absolutely hate it, and I find all that like I do find it interesting. But then where, like when it switches into becoming like a job, but I still really love it now.
Mm-hmm.
And the one, like I think Ryan, you came around once, and I just had it playing on Spotify. A guy Dimitri Martin, who I think you'd really like. So we had a show a while ago called Important Things with Dimitri Martin, and he's been in a couple of films or whatever. But he's like he's got some on Netflix and stuff. But because a lot of the British ones, I've never really, other than say Sean Locke,
Okay. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Alan Davis, and there's loads of others now, but those like were a bit more of like, yeah, I really like what they're doing.
Proper comedian sort of thing. Yeah.
Do you find it more enjoyable when it was more of a hobby than you did when it became a job? Because there's maybe less pressure to find the gigs, to go to the right gigs. It was more just you going to a gig, not because of the money, just because you enjoyed doing the gigging.
It's a different kind of enjoyment from it, where, you know, where the one you came to in Bristol, I love that one.
That was brilliant. And in fact,
Really good.
I'm not just saying this because I did say to you after the show.
I did tell Ryan to also say.
Yeah.
You were by far the best act.
But also what happens is that when I'm hosting,
Mm.
I get it quite a lot. Where, and this, I hate saying anything showy off it, but when you're the
Do
MC and it happens to loads and loads of people, and I do a lot of hosting, you're not seen as an act.
Mm-hmm.
So you get loads of people being like, "You should do it."
Yeah.
Like, I am doing it. This is my role. Like there was one out in the countryside in Suffolk or something like that I did ages ago, and I was hosting it, and this guy being like, "You should give it a go." I'm like, I don't work at this restaurant, do I? I've clearly been brought in the same way as everyone else, and I don't get too touchy about it. But that one's good, but it's also good because I know I'm going to get paid quickly,
Yeah.
and it's always a good time, other than it being a long night where the times that the guy decides to do is always a night. Plus, it's in Bristol, and you know, if I was a bit more organised when you were there, we could have electric scootered it there, which would have been quite fun. But
it was a nice walk.
it was a bit more. It's become harder to write new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
because it's a job now, so you can't always risk it.
Yeah.
It's like going into work and like, I'm going to do a new presentation every day.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to love it. Whereas people are like, we don't pay you to do new presentations every day. Chill out and do your regular job, please. Like, so you get stresses with it, and I don't think I don't know. I need to tap into the hobby energy of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's got to be hard,
what
though.
I'm trying to do is do a new, especially now being in Bristol, it's really handy for doing a new material night like once a month, where I just write like 5 minutes.
Trying it, yeah.
And just to engage with that side of it again, because sometimes you've got all these like new ideas that you want to go do, but then you're at like a weekend comedy club and you're like, I can't do my new bit on iguanas right now in front of these people. I've got to be keeping it all together.
In that sense, then, do you find the emceeing better because you're not really using material as such because you're working the crowd? Because then it comes naturally, right? Because that's what you're good at. Because you're working the crowd and you're naturally funny, and the jokes came from working the crowd. Does that make it easier in that sense that you don't have to worry about material? Because I mean, obviously you had some material, but it comes from working the crowd, right?
It goes. So then it's again, if you're putting it in the same way where, like with anyone, if I'm emceeing too much, I hate it.
Okay.
I'm so bored.
Yeah.
Plus, you've got to be there the whole night.
Yeah.
People, don't see you as a proper act. Sometimes there'll be odd requests. Sometimes from, it's our mate John's birthday. Can you say something to him? What do you want me to do? Like,
you know nothing
and
about
I'm not
him.
mean. And like that's also my thing of like, I don't want to be like a mean guy of like, oh, you look like a prick or whatever. I've got no interest in that.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the time but if I'm doing it too much, I get bored.
Yeah.
And if I'm just doing the same set all the time, I get bored.
Mm.
So like a lot of it is based around that. So as long as I'm keeping it varied, the last month or so has been quite nice. Even though summer, this is probably my nicer bunch of summer gigs for years, it feels like. Maybe because a bit of COVID in there, of where you just didn't really have it. And then the first bunch out of COVID, people were like insane.
Mm.
And also, because I'm not in, as much as I loved my time in Leicester, because I haven't been gigging in Leicester on a Saturday, because it's, I think it's more because it's like a working class place.
Yeah.
So people are working Monday to Friday, they get to Friday, they go out. It's just what they do.
Yeah.
And then they come to comedy, and comedy's not at the forefront of their mind for that night. They're still going to go to like 3 other places.
So by the time the comedy actually comes on, they've had a few pints and they become too loud.
And if you're emceeing them
ruins,
ones every week, you're like, this is, what am I doing?
Yeah, for sure.
And knowing that, like, I'm going to get home really late, so as long as you keep it varied and you're working towards stuff. So I've not been up to like Edinburgh I suppose I went like 2 years ago, but then before that I didn't go for 6 years. And going up there and doing an hour of your own show, that keeps you really engaged and happy with it. And then you get like a couple of months before August where you can go round doing Edinburgh preview shows and stuff like that, and that keeps it really
fresh,
interesting for you. But then I'm now at a point of like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what. Sometimes I'm looking at my own hands, like, what are these? Like, what am I doing? This is like, and so I've got like a few ideas of what like I want to do as a new show, but then sometimes I'll flip back and be like, I might just not do any of that and just stay in and just keep doing what I'm doing. So yeah, it all depends on like when I'm emceeing, I try to do no material because what's the point? Like, unless someone if I talk to someone in the audience and they've got something very specific that I can talk back, but then also sometimes it's quite important to do material so the crowd then know what material sounds like.
Yeah, the flow sort of throughout the show goes.
Sometimes if you're just done chat,
and
then someone comes out and does material, the audience are like, why is he talking like he's doing a monologue? And because he should be. That's why I say
they're not ready for it
and stuff like that. But I tend to usually do the same bit where I tell audiences, this isn't Gogglebox. That's one. Because the amount of times you sat in an audience and someone will be like, you do that. Like, you just keep that in your head. Like, you don't need to bring that up. And so,
no way.
Yeah. You also have to give me a hand signal.
That's fine.
If I'm yabbering on for too long.
I mean, that's fine. That's why we have you here. You're here to make this funny. So that's because we're not particularly great at that.
You are.
We're
I
okay.
think you're very
yourself.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're okay. You're here for the
Yeah.
comedy.
The
I'm here just to laugh at you.
accents- Yeah, your accent's good,
Okay.
but yours are
Accent.
funny. because
Oh,
they're
accents.
bad.
Sorry, I was thinking. Yeah, they're terrible. I'm not very good at it. Yeah.
No.
I mean,
That's why I steered away from it.
that lift
Yeah.
can get you some real comedic effect.
Thanks. Yeah.
Mm.
That's right.
It's barely there.
Yeah, you can barely notice it. It's fine.
Mm.
Okay. Next question.
My,
Come on.
well, no, my second question you pretty much answered, which was
Yeah.
how do you deal with, say, for instance, someone had a really shit day and they came in and they weren't there for comedy at all, but you pretty much did that with
tell 'em.
giggles
Yeah.
and nibbles. Yeah.
But you just tell them, like, that's part of the fun of it. And the same, I recommend it for everyone, really, where the amount of fun you can get and joy you can get
Mhm.
from telling someone, asking someone to explain, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Oh,
Right?
really?
Like, I'm not a gamer, but I love sitting with someone. So me and Ryan I had Medal of Honor on PlayStation 2.
Frontline.
Solid game.
Medal of Honor
Frontline.
I never played it,
Oh.
but it was my copy.
Oh.
But Ryan would come around and play it at mine, and I'd just sit and watch him play it, and it was perfectly happy. But like,
To be
and I guess it's that similar thing of like, if you've got some of the audience who's kind of come along, the typical ones you'll get is people confusing it of bring your own fun.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, we're going to watch the comedy. I guess there are no social rules anymore. We can sit here and chat because it's comedy. So we can just have a chat because it's comedy. So we can't really get told off for laughing and smiling at the thing. And you'll get the same argument a lot of the time where people will be like, well, you wouldn't do that at the theatre. I was like, no, I'm not really bothered about that. But people already know
Yeah.
you wouldn't do that in the theatre.
No, yeah.
There's been a thing not too long ago where theatres were getting in trouble for people in the audience singing the songs along with it too loudly. Where
Oh, okay, yeah.
the performers were like, stop. Like, so maybe
That's
the
it.
theatre can be a bit too like stuffy.
Told
But
off.
so sometimes you get that, and I think a lot of comedians will also play like bad gig bingo.
Okay.
Or bad audience bingo, like for someone. I love it where someone will act like the whole audience is with them
Oh.
and be like, well, he's just not very good, is he? And everyone's like, shut up. Like, it's self-policing gigs. I've had like one in, like, I love it as well, and I should say, because, especially from being from where we're from,
Yeah.
the amount of places I've been to, not all good, but without comedy, I would have never have gone to Middlesbrough, right? I would have had no reason
Whoa.
to go to Redcar
Yeah.
near Middlesbrough. Like, it's not all focused around Middlesbrough. Like,
Sure.
to go to Narberth in West Wales, to go like to all these places and stuff like that. Like, you end up going to all these different parts of the country, and you get a really like built up thing. But there was in Hull. I started off. I used to live in my mum's garage.
I know.
You saw the
I saw your stuff.
You saw that. So when I used to live in my mum's garage,
I was going to say this should be relatively
It's-
welcoming for you.
this is
We
very,
do have a
like
window
home.
as well,
This
where
is-
it hasn't got a curtain on it.
this
But
is better
yeah.
than the garage I lived in. Like, but I was telling it, and some guy just yelled at. So just doing the story about living in my mum's garage, just that it needs a little bit of backstory.
Mhm.
And then some guy was just like, "Get on with it," just like that. Like, mate,
His
like,
show sort of thing.
What are you in? Are you in a rush? Why have you come here where you cannot listen? You get people getting kicked out, and then they're like, "I thought this was a comedy night. What are we? Comedians are supposed to be able to handle it." And some of that, I think, is from social media.
Mhm.
I don't think audience behaviour's got worse from COVID, where people think it has. Like, after COVID, we came out of COVID, and people have got. I don't think it's that. I think it's the amount of it online, and especially certain promoters who it's just basically the comedians on stage calling someone in the front row a dickhead, and then everyone's like, ha ha ha, he called me a dickhead, ha ha ha, and just thinking it's going to be that.
Yeah.
And so the audience are coming along thinking they this is going to sound horrible. They are just as important.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
important,
No. I
but they're
understand.
just
Yeah,
as important.
yeah.
And so they're thinking, if we act up, we'll get put on a clip online and it'll get
Yeah.
shared loads of things like that.
Yeah.
It's like, what? And then you'll get a sponsorship out of it or something like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, like you're kind of fully prepared, and some of it is a case of like not really caring, but I think working the angle that there are a bunch of people who have paid good money to come here.
Mhm.
They haven't paid, like, you know, most of the gigs it's fine. I've never really had anything mad. I've had the odd bloke and it's always a bloke, like, get a bit finger pointy. I don't like what you said. Like,
Oh, really?
You know, like, all right, okay, you know, there was once up in Edinburgh, and so you're doing your own solo show for an hour, and it was a Saturday, and it was full. So my show, I'd do it on the free fringe, so like non-ticketed, people just pay money in a bucket at the end and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And there was 3 really drunk guys, and this was the Edinburgh where 6 months into me not drinking anymore. So it was the first time going up to Edinburgh without drinking. It's a very big, especially when I used to go when I was like 20, and now going up when I was like 30 odd. Telling this story, it's quite like what is it? About working at a COVID testing centre, like mental health problems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And these 3 guys just keep on chatting. But it's a Saturday for them. They've been out drinking
Oh, they're
all day.
just talking to each other, sort of thing.
And I'm like, you've got to stop talking, guys.
That's it.
Like, I'm trying to do this, and this guy was just like, I'm like, why is this so important that you stay here and chat? Why don't you just go somewhere else? And one was just like, why is it so important that we don't stay here? I can't remember exactly how he worded it. Just this his stubbornness of like, why are you getting so annoyed with us being here? It's like, because you're chatting and ruining it for everyone else.
Effectively answer their own questions, sort of thing. It's like, look around
Apparently
you.
they were waiting outside the venue for me, like, but they cleared off eventually because, like, but it's, you know, stuff like that. I don't really get too, and it was lovely because all the audience were like, you know, I was just like, go on, mate, keep going, like I'm a little boy. It's like, no, I know what I'm doing, but I think especially because it was a show where I was talking about my own like mental health problems after COVID. I was like, I can't have you 3 just in here just chatting to each other. I don't think, like, I think all 3 of them didn't know each other. They were just 3 drunk blokes.
Just met each other on the night, sort of thing.
And it's like, it was a moment of like, I'm so glad I don't have to do that anymore either. So it was quite sweet.
Oh, fair enough. Right, okay. That's my questions over.
That was it.
That was it.
3.
Well,
I have a present.
You have a present?
You.
Oh.
Yeah, I got a present for you.
Do we have a
present for Ryan?
We might have a present for you. Do we have a present for
me?
Jack?
No, we don't. You can give him a sticker.
You don't have to give me anything.
We'll have to give you the sticker when we can.
So these are kind of presents, but like, so because I've been an avid listener.
Oh.
So I need to try and do this with that. Can you both close your eyes?
Okay.
Right.
Close.
So because I need to get them out and make sure I've got them out.
You can hear the rustling.
Okay.
There's right. Okay.
Let me just
read. A listener the whole time.
I'll read my good news
I
story.
picked up bits and pieces from it. So as I've been listening, plus this is helpful because I need this back for holiday. So now I can.
It's been emptied out for a reason.
So first one is for you.
Is that for me?
No,
No.
it's for you. Can open your eyes now.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
So are you actually like an architect? Is that
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Fully-
Oh, I've got so many books, but yes.
Have you got Science and the City?
No, I haven't.
Excellent.
Oh, wonderful.
Right, okay.
Thank you very much.
So I over lockdown, I
Yeah.
read so many books. I think because I was working at a COVID testing centre.
Yeah.
And I love getting paid to do what I'm not meant to be doing. So
As do
that's
we all.
we could really do.
Yeah.
So I'd sit in this testing centre. There'd be no one for like all day, and so and what I was doing. And if you're into your reading, and I'm just getting back into reading.
Yeah.
I
brilliant.
stopped for ages. I just finished a book that took me 3 years to finish because I was so starty about it.
I'm a mega slow reader, so
But
that's the norm for me.
And I would read a non-fiction book, a fiction book, and an autobiography, and I just kept on doing that, and that really helped with like balancing it. But that is a lot of fun about like how are we going to build cities in the future?
Oh, yeah.
A
like
really
that.
interesting thing about the Internet of Things.
Okay.
So where, you know, it's already happening with some devices of like, you know, your fridge can have internet connection and stuff like that. And so and how can we use Wi-Fi capabilities to charge everything?
Oh, I've got some, well, I haven't got a story here, but I was looking at something. A new company's managed to make the thinnest solar panels ever.
Right.
and they can now just be put on anything.
Yeah.
So it will literally be on top of cars, and they'll charge themselves as they
There'll be a
drive.
load of pushback.
Yeah, oh god,
from
Christ,
it.
yeah.
People being like,
There's no infrastructure.
The
Like we were talking about with
We
the
did
sauna. There's no infrastructure
Then I
for
brought-
electric cars. We shouldn't be having them.
Then we bought an electric car, and
And then you
we-
did buy an
it was
electric
completely
car.
wrong.
Right.
Oh, close my eyes.
Close
Close your eyes.
My eyes are closed.
Do you
Hands
remember the animal you spoke about in episode 1?
Come on.
First episode.
I remember it.
It was
You
a
remember.
little rodent.
A big
Oh.
one.
Oh yeah, the golden mole.
The Golden Mole. As if there's a
Golden
book
Mole
called The
book.
Golden Mole. No way.
So, again,
No way.
these I bought this book before I heard the episode.
As if.
I love a golden mole.
Hell
They're
yeah.
fantastic little creatures. There's a David Attenborough thing where he talks about them.
Oh right, really?
Yeah.
I'll have to
Yeah.
look it
So
up.
Get away.
that's a book, The Golden Mole. I've not read that one, but
Fresh.
I'll read it.
read it.
I'm going to read it, and I'm going to report back to you.
We'll do a
Right.
special book episode.
Thank you very much.
Stuff. And now I'm trying to remember which one.
Oh my god, we got more
We
than
need
one.
more guests.
We way need.
So
Yeah.
right, we can also treat this like a library, and we can loan these. A
Well,
human
A moving
library,
house.
if
Yeah.
you
Oh
will.
my god, look
Yes,
at
yes,
that.
yes.
I love it.
The
callbacks.
So there's. I don't know if either of you will like this, or maybe
Fen.
Fen. So
Okay.
we're in the Fens.
We
Yeah.
are in the film. now.
Daisy Johnson. I read that. I loved it. It's a load of weird short stories based around the Fens.
Okay. Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Okay. I'll
yeah,
have that
okay,
one.
yeah.
the
fair enough.
first one is amazing. It's about eels
Oh, okay.
Nice.
and the Dutch dredgers, because it was the Fens were dredged
Oh,
by
yeah.
the Dutch,
Yeah.
and so it's about
As if.
Oh, that's
it's
good.
Well, I'll
a
have to-
really creepy
Wow.
little story.
Yeah, I'll have to take that back.
I'm gonna have to
I'll
start
take that
reading.
after you.
But it's based around Saffron Walden, which isn't really the Fens. We're proper Fens.
We're proper
We
Fens,
are.
Saffron
yeah.
Walden's posh Fens.
The webbed feet, webbed toes kind of fence we are.
Have you read that one?
No.
think you would like this a lot.
Oh, heck yeah.
Right.
You're a well-travelled
Prisoner-
man.
Yeah, yeah.
Prisoners of Geography. So
Nice.
I love maps,
Flags.
and I really love flags, capitals,
Yeah.
geography, stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely love it a bit.
Yeah.
And so that's a really interesting book on how countries like America have become so powerful just based on geography,
Yeah.
and
No.
China as well,
Just read why Putin is so obsessed with Crimea.
Yeah.
So topical.
because he doesn't have a port.
No.
That's why
Yeah.
it doesn't.
As
Have
if.
Russia doesn't have a good port that you can use all
Makes
year round.
sense.
Awful, yeah.
Yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense.
So
Yeah.
you get that going on as well.
Cool.
So that's a really, and it's quite like, I don't mean it in an insulting way. It's quite a nice, easy read.
It's an easy read for you, Jordan.
I did just say
No,
I'm
no,
a slow reader, so no,
No,
that's
no,
the
no,
perfect
no.
scenario.
But
Yes.
as in that was one that I was reading. I was like, oh, this is great. This is exactly what I'm after.
You'll be ringing me up like, how do you say that
And
word?
Do you know what-
there's a series of 3 now. I think there's Prisoners of Geography, Future of Geography, and another one.
Oh, okay,
as well.
cool.
So there.
Funniest thing is, you're
And then-
offloading these books because we're moving out. I've just got rid of so many books
Yeah.
before.
We have to
this.
read them.
But no, yeah, of course I'm
When
going.
we get
Course I'm
we're gonna start video soon.
Yeah.
I'm
We
assuming
have
you're.
cameras,
Yeah.
so these could be like on the background.
I had a really fun story, which isn't going to be really fitting with the ethos
just get
of
it.
Positivity Podcast, which was bedtime podcast or bunk bed podcast, where you just have bunk beds and you have cameras in the bunk beds. You're just sitting there, laying there, like when you were a kid and you had a sleepover.
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
talk about
just
the
talk
most
about
random crap.
stuff. Okay.
That's really cute.
Yeah,
That's very
that was
cute.
not what I was expecting, but
it's
it was
cute,
that. It
isn't
was the idea.
It's a real like, hey, I want to tell you something.
Everybody
Yeah,
can relate
yeah,
to that.
exactly.
That's the thing. 'Cause
It's-
everybody can relate to it.
Yeah, it's like the inner child sort of podcast
Yeah.
sort of thing. But yeah, no.
Wow, the inner child.
Yeah, it's like an
Yeah.
inner child. Well, 'cause that's-
Wow,
Oh.
the inner child.
can't get away from it. That's going to be stuck with you for the rest of your life
Fine.
And I've got one more,
when you get
which
married.
again you can choose who has these, and you can
That's
you
right.
can read them between you. I think you'd both find them really
We could do a
interesting.
communal library. It's fine.
This one. So do you know Bella Mackey?
No.
No.
bad.
She's married to Greg James.
Oh,
Okay. Oh yeah, I do actually. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And she's
Older than
just
I thought.
I think
Yeah.
it's just coming out on Netflix of like How to Kill Your Family.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So this is a first book.
Yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah.
To jog on. So I know you're saying you don't really like running.
He can't run.
Can't run. Says he can't run. I thought I can't run. I remember doing cross country at the Abbey. Hated it.
I did.
I was
cross-
walking.
Oh, I did cross country at Somerset Primary. Boys B team,
Yeah.
first
Do you-
place.
Like, yeah, and I hated it. I think I always quite liked exercise in the sense of, and then this is what I'm currently trying to write about. But
Mhm.
it does tie into a show that I already did about working at COVID Testing Centre. But so like with exercise and stuff like that when I was younger, didn't really like it.
Okay, yeah.
But I did gymnastics when I was really young.
Ah, okay.
Loved that at Huntingdon, and then got a trampoline, as everyone did.
Mhm.
Got over a trampoline. I was on that all the time. And then went off to uni with the idea of like, I'm going to play hockey because I played a little bit of hockey at sixth form.
Okay.
And then never did at uni. I took my stick with me.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet you had a
and
stick.
I think also, again, some of it is the shyness of coming from a very small place and going there and being like,
I bet.
oh, no, I'm all right, actually. Like, there's suddenly all these people and stuff. And then I kind of didn't really do any exercise for years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only really been like recently and stuff that I've got kind of back into park runs. Started doing it a little bit before COVID and then whatever. But this book did help a lot with that.
I feel like I should take it then. You know who it is, but I feel like,
it was aimed at you.
I feel like I should, yeah.
But also
so
in
jog on by
terms of
Bella Mackie.
it helps from it explains the whole thing of like, as much as when people are like, you're having a real mental health crisis,
yeah,
and some people are like, you should just go out and but it is written in a way that matches the difficulty of when you start running.
Okay, yeah.
So that you first start reading it like, this is a bit heavy, this is
Okay.
tough, this is hard. And then as you get more and more into it, you're like breezing through it. It's got loads and loads of statistics
No way.
and stuff. It's very like statistics led, and all these interviews that she's had with people and stuff like that. Because I was reading that when I was going through a very, very hard time.
Okay.
And it really, really did.
Ah,
Quite
okay.
a lot.
Yeah, no, I take it. Yeah. Beautiful. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sick.
So there you are. And here's my bag now.
Is it empty? Ready for your holiday?
Yeah.
I would say you can empty it out, but we can't use any of the bins because we've just cleaned them and
No,
emptied them for ready for the people.
I'll just put.
I did that before.
Oh, you better can get it out.
No, I can't.
No.
Did I tell you that I can't run my marathon anymore?
Oh, you better not
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had to
tell
cancel
me that. Why?
because I sprained my ankle.
Yeah, that'll heal by the time you do your marathon. You'll be
I
fine.
can't train.
What?
I'll probably can't train for
when's the
6
marathon?
weeks.
Walk it.
Early October.
Yeah.
That was like the
You're not
massive
making it.
advertisement campaign that we
I
had.
know.
You could walk it. Just walk it.
I ain't walking.
Wrap your leg up. Walk it.
Say like-
you need to.
You need to take my place.
I can't.
Yeah.
It's that'll be the story.
I might not be here.
You'll be here.
I might not be here.
You'll be here.
Evaporated.
Yeah. But I do. It is a really nice.
Yeah. No,
Nice
yeah.
one.
So, yeah. It
Of
looks
also,
good.
like, but even like just importance of, even like having like exercise sporting facilities in all sorts of communities and stuff like that. It's a really good one. And there's the person who supposedly invented jogging.
Oh.
It was from like California.
Invented jogging.
Yeah. Obviously,
See,
he didn't invent jogging, but invented it as a recreational.
The concept.
Oh.
Yeah, a thing that like we should all be doing
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But
Fair enough. See, do you know what's funny? I got
Bedtime
told.
reading.
Yeah, no, definitely. I got told by a guy that did sports physio at college and carried on to be a friend after college, and he said jogging is really bad for you.
Oh,
It's probably not great for your
loads of
knees.
people-
Yeah, that's the
loads
joints
of
and
people
stuff.
go either way. And stuff
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
true.
Like where I kept on getting tendonitis from my
Glad.
big toe up to my knee, but then I realised it's because I didn't ever train my knees.
Mm-hmm.
So, and since doing that, like, and I've been on a bit of a journey of stopping. 2.5 years now, no alcohol,
Okay. Yeah.
other than one accidental sip at someone's wedding because I thought it was prosecco and orange aid.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was just prosecco and prosecco with orange aid. In
Okay.
it.
Oh,
So
fair
it was
enough.
not helpful. But like, why have two separate things? And yeah, and then after that, stopped smoking.
Oh wow.
A year after that, stopped eating meat.
You really are on a
So,
journey.
Yeah. It's
Really, really.
very insufferable.
I was
Like,
gonna, it
Yeah.
sounds like a lot of hard work.
and I go to the gym regularly, and that was around the same time as. But yeah, like, and that is very much so like the important things. But the book definitely kind of, even though I read the book and carried on doing things
All
that
those
I was
bad
doing,
things.
it took a while for it to kick in and stuff. But it was a really like, whoa, like this is good. But the Fenn Daisy Johnson one,
Yeah.
if when you're reading it, there will be times as you're reading it of like, what is going on in this book? Like, there's
You'll have to
no
read
way.
it to me.
It's a load of short stories, so you can probably take turns.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'll have to read it to me as
yeah,
well.
yeah. And she's
Bedtime
got a few
stories.
others, yeah. So it's real nice.
Oh my god, we can save them and we can all do the bedtime podcast.
Well, when we're doing our bunk bed
Bunk
podcast,
bed
what are we going to call
podcast.
it? What did you had a name for it?
Childhood Inner Child or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
That's probably taken by a podcast anyway. All right, okay. I should really jump onto a good stew. A good stew? A good stew.
Good news story.
Good
yeah,
news
give us a good
story.
news story.
So it's a really quick one. So I'd like to also begin by saying sorry and thank you to Bevlar, who's Becca's mum, for providing the human library story back in episode 15.
Is that who was in the...
Yes, yeah. So I was going to do a mention on the day, but I never did. So thank you very much, Bev. So
she's an avid listener as well.
Oh, 100% she's an avid listener. So the good news story that I want to talk about, so, oh my God, I've said so like 15 times within this one sentence. According to the World Giving Index in 2024, which is a website that tracks global trends in generosity, it has come to the point that in 2024, 4.3 billion people have helped someone that they didn't know, volunteered time, or donated money to a good cause, which apparently, comparing this to previous years, has been the most generosity recorded to date. So we are, around the world, getting apparently nicer. More generous, more nice, more donate some money to charity and stuff. I thought we were getting worse.
Do you think that's because people are more aware of things because of social media and platforms like that?
Oh, don't say that. That just puts a real stain on it,
I
doesn't
know,
it?
but that's true.
It's true, though, yeah.
It's more visible, right?
Yeah,
people don't understand what's going on in the world.
And I think also we've all become richer, but the gap between the wealth gap, even within that, so it's actually probably easier to help people, and we're a bit more wanting to do it.
Yeah.
But then it might not feel that way because there's literal billionaires who are like, I want to go to the moon. And we're like, people can't eat. So, you could stop that right now. I'm trying to, like, my thing, I've got no... I don't come back home that often because...
No signal.
Yeah, no signal.
Yeah.
But I've found some little stories, and so I'm kind of only going off the tab on there. But Bristol was named the kindest city in the UK.
Wow.
It felt like a very Bristol voted itself.
Oh, okay.
thing. It was the day of the riots, and I was going past, and they had like this thing up, and it was just these people just like, oh no, yeah, Bristol's been voted the kindest city in the UK, and it is a bit like, what do you base that off?
Yeah.
Is that where your story came from?
Which one?
About the community people.
Liverpool, that was.
Oh, it's Liverpool. Okay.
Glad you listened.
Yeah, you're not wrong then. Maybe that is a very it might be because obviously they've had the riots, so now they have a reason to be generous and help people.
Well,
so now the kindness has come after something that's so bad. Like they needed a bad reason to be kind.
But also, like, I think it was because of how you did mention it as well, like how outnumbered the protesters were.
Yeah, they really
in
were.
Places.
Yeah.
And that would be the same everywhere, really, because people are just like, no, I don't want to do that, and it just highlights it. But with, I guess also there is a social media element of it, I'm sure, where people can do it for,
monetary gain.
You do something in a good way to whatever.
Oh, you mean? Oh, I didn't mean it like that.
Perceived as being good,
but
sort of thing.
Also for a thing of like people are doing more that way, and I guess also it can be surveyed more than anything.
Well,
I know the point of the podcast isn't to myth bust.
No, I was going to say dampen the positivity sort of thing.
Like, okay, that's a positive thing. Let's figure out how that came about. I don't think so, young man. Where I think it's because it can be surveyed more.
Yeah.
You probably get a questionnaire and whatever.
That's true.
Where like.
Well,
I'm doing what you two are doing.
Yeah, where all the
no.
It's fine.
What's the word for it? Yeah,
it's basically where, like you said, it can be surveyed more, so there's more stats. So, back onto this, which is the stats are basically made up of an average of that country's sort of generosity or acts of kindness and sort of stuff, and it's been put into a point system. So the highest you can get is 100, and the lowest you can get, big fat 0.
Oh, does it say which countries are the most generous or not?
Yes.
Oh, right. Can we turn it into a game? Because now we've got two people.
All right.
I think I'm. Do you want to go first?
No, you go. You're the guest.
Cracky, hold on. I haven't got all of the stats. I've got the most. Right. So
there we go. That's
guess
what we need.
On the most.
Yeah.
Generous. We'll say the most and the second most because I've got them here.
Okay. Have you got the least?
I haven't got the least, no, because we're a positivity podcast.
True.
The least.
Let's just. I mean, look, there's a lot of countries in the world.
Got to stay on brand.
Let's
I'm
just
go
guess.
Austria.
Okay.
I was thinking Europe as well. Germany.
Sure. Okay. So with these stats, the most generous country is Indonesia.
Oh.
Or Indonesia.
Do you reckon that's because the population is larger?
Well, yeah.
Quite possibly. Well,
but again, there'll be loads of factors.
Yeah, there is.
I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. They've been the most generous country for the past 7 years now.
Yeah.
So with these stats, they have been, whether they were the ones
So
that started this
the survey only
statistics.
takes place in Indonesia.
There'll be stuff in there about like wealth gaps as well there.
Oh yeah,
because you'll
definitely. Yeah.
have proper, like I say, like I'm not saying that people here aren't properly homeless, but as in there'll be people who just like live on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, it's true.
how do you help then? Is Canada around there?
No.
Yeah.
So we'll go for the second spot.
Go on.
Where do you reckon?
Can you give us the continent, please? Continent, please. Vowel.
Europe? Yeah, Europe.
Europe.
Wow, you
Yeah.
sure?
He's not sure.
I'm not sure. I need to read the geography book.
Yeah.
Europe.
Europe.
So it's a European
It's
company
European.
which you're not sure about, so it's going to be something quite.
No, I think it is European.
I don't want to say something obvious.
I'll give you a clue. It might be a fairly obvious clue. It's had quite a downfall.
Greece.
Yeah.
Is it Greece?
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
not know?
It's
It's
jumped
Europe
up to number
for a
2, I
start?
think.
Mm.
Oh no! Oh, it's not number 2. Oh, I lied!
all
I
of that.
lied! After all this research I did, no, it completely lied. So Greece is on here is because it's had the biggest rise in terms of generosity and stuff.
Oh,
Which
okay.
again, because it's had such an economic downturn, I can pretty much say it's
Yeah.
easier to give to charity because everyone needs money
Yeah.
over in Greece. But
So
yeah,
who was number 2 then? You
I
just didn't
mean,
have
I
number
can
two.
get it up. I can
No,
get
it's
the
fine.
whole-
No drama.
I can get the whole thing up if you wanted.
Oh, I just want to see
We
the
can
list.
find it. Yeah, I know. I'll have to do it.
At
Oh,
points, this podcast should be sponsored by Scandinavia, though, as well. The amount of
We
times-
do go on.
Imagine.
They've done it again. They've been here again. They're doing
Same
very, very
as-
well, as they always are.
Just
Right,
make it
yeah.
the best holiday destination possible, sort of
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, no. Greece, and they've had the biggest rise. Scandinavia are up there at the top. They've been there for 7 years.
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Mm.
Indonesia.
That's
Yeah,
what you said,
Indonesia.
right?
Do you know what's funny? I used to say Ukraine instead of Ukraine.
I still say it quite odd.
I got
Ukraine.
picked up at work. I said
Yeah.
it, and I was like, everyone's like, "Are you
Yeah.
where? Where are you talking about?" I was like, Ukraine. And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'd say it very similar as well sometimes.
No.
But some people say the Ukraine.
Oh, really?
The Ukraine.
You add the
because that's what it used to be.
Oh, that's true.
True.
Yeah. So there's all sorts of stuff like that. Where
So yeah, a staggering 75 countries have improved their World Giving Index since 2023. So everywhere has been growing. Unfortunately, not to put a dampener on it, the UK has fallen from its top 20 spot.
we're out of the top 20.
We were in the top 20. We've now fallen out of that. I think we're something like 24, 25. So not the UK.
Recently,
Yeah.
when we can't. The
Recently,
European
yeah.
Maybe
Since
when we-
2023 to 2024.
maybe-
This is the second time we've fallen out of the top 20 spot.
When did we come out of the union?
I'm assuming. This wouldn't have. It's general generosity within the UK.
Oh,
so
okay, fine.
it's
It's
each
not
country
as a
doing a good
country.
deed for something or an organisation within that country. So the UN hasn't really got anything to do with it.
Or is because we're all skint now, we can't afford to give
Maybe.
it.
There's not to, again. This is well, you can figure it out however you want. With me referencing it, if you follow The Economist on Instagram, they're really good for showing like graphs and stuff.
Okay,
I
yeah.
follow that on LinkedIn.
Yeah, they're really, really good for it. And there's this one lady in particular who does, I don't know if she works for them, but like she does these brilliant graphs of stuff like that because it would
Okay.
be really interesting to see
Yeah, see, does.
that generosity index
Proper stats, yeah.
laid up with,
Economic growth.
all
And
sorts
stuff
of
like
stuff
that,
there, like downturns and
Yeah.
whatever and stuff like that that's happened.
I'm trying to see if I had it open, but I don't. I've closed it. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I could have found some of the actual statistics because they've got it on the actual
Yeah.
index itself.
And then also each country will have its own
Mhm.
parameters for like what are they capable of giving.
Well, you say that. So the index is measured by 3 things and 3 things only. So it's, have you donated money to charity? Have you helped a stranger or someone you didn't know in need? Which these questions are very, very vague because you could literally say, yes, I've donated to charity. I popped 30p in the little Dog's Trust thing.
or a rounded up
Yeah.
by McDonald's
Yeah, exactly.
meal.
And then have you volunteered your time to an organisation or a charity again? So it's not money, it's time. But yeah, they're the 3 parameters that or the
I never
questions
got
that have been
asked.
asked. One, yeah, I'm guessing they do.
Yeah.
It's on an average basis, so I think the people have to fill in stuff. So I'm guessing Indonesia are the most active at filling like a little form.
I think it would also be tied in with religion. In
Oh,
Indonesia.
true. Yeah, I didn't
as
think
well,
about that.
like where I think they're mainly Muslim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I reckon it's something to do with that in there as well, where it's part of a community aspect of
Yeah,
like you do these things to help out other people. So
Makes it super easy to sort of be in a community aspect and help people.
Sorry, Indonesia. I don't think you're doing it for genuine reasons. I think you're doing it because you have to.
Gotta prove it.
Yeah.
Prove the reason why you do
but
it.
I would love to see that as a county by county graph as well, and then you look at like the wealthier counties against like the more, and then in places where it's more of a community feel rather than like a big city, because London would be able to help more people.
Yeah.
But then
Less
do
likely.
people feel more welcome in
Yeah.
London?
Yeah, I suppose it's true. Yeah, the poorer it gets, the more welcoming it becomes, or the more community based it becomes, I guess, because everyone wants to help each other out because they're all in the same shit stick sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I put it to you two then. What have you two done to be on the UK statistics recently, where you
Recently
have?
is a key word, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll say recently.
Yeah.
I could say throughout your entire life, but it has to be this
Yeah.
year. sort of
Recently?
thing.
Because
This year.
I still ride off doing charity work. In 2012, I still ride off.
One charity gig, was it? Or?
That would be my real answer. I've just agreed to do a charity gig in Wales
There you go.
Nice.
for someone where they saw me at a gig in Wales and they're like, "Can you come do our charity one?" And they asked for a fee. And
Mate, you pay them.
no.
Oh.
I get paid. But they said how much you want to
how
get
much?
paid.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So but I do it all the time myself, and this is the problem with not having an agent anymore, where I lowball myself, and then they're so quick to be like, "Yep, great, that's a good fee."
But surely for
I've just said my fuel.
cover your I was going to say
Bristol
that.
to West Wales.
Yeah.
I've said
It's not
like,
that far either,
there's
is
my
it?
fuel.
Yeah.
Like, it'd still be like 2.5 hours.
That's
the roads
very-
get bad. It's like near Tenby.
Jeez.
All right.
Yeah. So like going that way. So that's a recent one of agreeing to that. So I've not even done it yet.
Yeah, I was
But,
going to say that would be one.
can
No,
have
that's fine.
one,
That
so
that can count. Yeah, I'd say that
Yeah.
was, especially considering you haven't even like put in things like food or anything else, just fuel.
yeah, but I immediately,
Fuck it, really.
I immediately should have asked for more money.
A meal.
When I said my fee for it, they were like, "Oh wow, great."
You're the cheapest one there.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be another act from Wales who lives so much closer, and I should have messaged him first. But then it's a charity thing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fine, like
No, that's good.
and it will be nice and whatever. But there's, I've mentioned, I can't believe I've mentioned this on another podcast. When I was in sixth form doing my A levels, I did philosophy and ethics,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved it. And there's a thing by a philosopher called Immanuel Kant. Kant, and we had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Sixth form.
Yeah.
Like, you absolute Kant. Like, that was great. But here's Kant's categorical imperative, and it's basically the thing of doing good deeds without any reward.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very, very hard to do a good deed without any reward. And so the idea of like you just do it, you don't think about. And he was writing at a time where people were worried about going to heaven,
Mm-hmm.
and so like as much as that's gone for a lot of people, but it's still like, yeah, but I can get something
Yeah.
from it or
Yeah.
whatever. So even with this one in Wales, I'm a bit like, well, it'll be because I run 2 gigs in Wales, and so it'll be like, oh, they'll get to see me, and it'll be someone else or
Yeah.
whatever. But I think I still would have done it because I'm that part of West Wales around Tenby. It is growing on me quite a lot.
Ah.
And so,
It's beautiful.
so yeah.
And that's why I get married.
Yeah. And I'll be staying there like once a month now.
Scope out.
My 2 gigs that I run, like one's on a Thursday, one's on a Friday. So every Thursday, once a month, I'll stay there.
Oh, nice.
Around there and stuff, and go to some old school arcades.
Oh,
as well.
nice.
Where's the actual gig?
Scope out the good
Is it-
stuff.
Narberth and then Llanelli.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well
How far
done.
is that from
Well
Tenby?
done.
Not far, like less than an hour.
Oh.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
bad.
not going to tie it in around your wedding.
I was going to say, if it's on a Friday, maybe we
Yeah.
should go.
It's a lovely.
No,
the
different
one in-
route.
The one in Narberth's lovely, as is the other one, but the Narberth one's such a community thing as well. So
Nice.
like, yeah. What about you, Ryan? What have you done?
Yeah.
Ever?
What have you done? No,
Well,
recently.
Recently
Or-
to qualify
How
for
recent?
this survey.
Recent.
I was going to run a charity, run a marathon for
Yeah.
charity.
I did raise
but
3 grand for Magpass
when was that?
last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
I do
suppose I could count
volunteer
that.
to do the Christmas lights every year for the local community.
You do a lot.
I did
For-
run a mental health group for about 4 years.
That's true. I have big drop on that as well, quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'd like to help out with people if I can.
No, it's a good thing to do.
What about you?
Yeah, what about you? What about you?
Absolutely
Jordan?
jackal.
Yeah.
You
It
No.
is, it's, but then that's also the thing at the UK as well. Like you're asking people who have all been having, but the same in a lot of other countries as well. I'm sure maybe a lot of Western European countries have probably dropped on that list.
Yeah, I bet it has.
And so because of like austerity and stuff like that, and it becomes so hard to be, you see a homeless person or whatever like that, just to be like, oh yeah, I'll give it. But you're in your head now of like, I can't.
I gave a homeless person a £5 the other day.
Yeah, so did I. So I've done it twice now. And what the philosopher's talking about, it's really hard not to get in your head and say, am I doing this for sort of like personal gratification reasons? Is it now no longer a generous act because I'm just giving this homeless man a tenner?
Well, I filmed mine and put it on Instagram.
Oh, I didn't do that. I literally just walked past him.
Everyone? Everyone look at me. Yeah. Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Here it goes, you smell it.
Yeah. I'll give it.
Hand sanitizer.
I'll do bottles of water.
Yeah, that's what I did.
More than anything.
I'd prefer to do that.
Well, so I did a bottle of water and I wrapped a tenner around it.
You did tell me about it, actually.
A bottle of water, wrapped a tenner around it because it was like 30 degrees outside and I was like, I just dropped it next to him and walked away. I didn't say anything.
It sounds like one of them grab machines where like the money's wrapped around with a plastic bag.
I mean, basically it was. And I just dropped it next to him, walked away.
This is a slight tangent. You know the little alleyway near the shop near where
your parents live?
Yeah. Oh, okay, yes.
So what do we call that shop now?
Windsor Gardens.
Windsor Green.
Windsor Green, yeah.
Yeah, Windsor Green. And you know the little alleyway?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to remember this.
You found a £5.
No, you found a
Oh,
£5. You kicked a pile of leaves. Ryan kicked a pile of leaves.
Oh, I remember this, yeah.
I thought it was a tenner. I changed the number depending on who I'm talking to.
Oh, okay.
But
actually, it might have been a tenner.
Like a tenner just like
flew out
of this pile of leaves.
As if.
No, it was me. Okay, I was there. It was me. Yeah.
So you've still got a £5 in karma that you can give to people.
That's true. You need to pay back.
Yeah,
you got it back. What?
Really?
Yeah, you got.
I've definitely lost money in my time though, so that's passing it on surely.
That is a mentality that I live by. So in my local gym, there was a £1 coin in the lockers, and I look at it and go, I could take that. I'm just going to leave it there.
Leave it there.
Yeah,
leave it there.
Be a universal £1 coin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I sort of see it
like
as because I've done the same thing. So I've left a £1 coin in, and I feel like someone else has used it, and I feel like it returned itself there because I needed that £1 coin. I didn't have a locker token, and it was there. I was like, wait, what the fuck is going on here? It's like genuinely the universe going, I've got your back. Don't worry about it. You've already done.
Just get to the point with them as well. Just put £1 coins in all of the lockers.
That's it.
And just leave it.
Just leave it
forever.
Or don't make us pay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is that aspect to it, but yeah, at the same time, universal sort of give in, and then it can come pay back. I mean, I do sort of believe in it, but then I'm very logical, and I think it is coincidence. But at the same time, it's like it's something whimsical to think about and believe in, I guess.
It's nice to have something to believe in.
I would like to think that the money that I give away, I would eventually get back in some sort of form.
Oh,
in terms of like a karma aspect, I need to be able to give £1 million away. That'd be good.
More stuff.
Yeah, I also donate £8 every month to Magpass.
That is true. You did.
Bondi, my stepdad, I think he still donates to a dog. You know, like adopt a dog thing.
Yeah. I had one.
He's been doing that for years.
I had one called.
He's been doing that for years.
Does he not know? Do you think the dog's probably
still going?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's been a puppy for like 20 years.
Does it write him stuff?
Yeah. He did pictures of it.
Yeah. I had one because when I really wanted a dog when I was little. Before I had Spotty. Did you ever meet my King Charles Spaniel?
Yes, I did. Yes, yeah, I have.
So like,
before you were looking at me like,
of course,
did you ever meet Spotty?
I have. Yeah, no, I have.
I saw the bloody thong come out of his arse.
Yeah. He used to eat my sister's pants. He was a little freak. He was a gross little freak dog.
Listen.
But yeah, and I really wanted a dog, so I would donate to the Dogs Trust, and I had a dog called Blank Frank, a golden retriever who was blind that would write me letters, which was even more impressive.
Someone's definitely made that
blind,
up.
Like he was still doing that. But with there was an episode where you spoke about the good gym.
Yes, yeah.
And so again, that's another difficult thing about the Fens.
Yeah.
Where those kind of things aren't readily available really around here, but they'd actually be super useful.
Well, yeah,
it is borderline like Amish.
Yeah, it is.
Of like, let's all build a barn.
Yeah.
But if it came to it, I'd build a barn. Around here, I would do it.
Well, that's the thing. So they were looking to get a place in Peterborough. But there isn't an official place yet. I didn't want to. Yeah, I know. This is the thing. So I was like, do I just sign up? And I was like, just me on my own doing everybody's garden in Peterborough. I think I'm gonna just.
They do. They do something like that in Peterborough.
Yeah, but this is like the Good Gym organisation is ideally getting a collective to do the whole thing instead of just 3 or 4 people that do some gardening.
Because I nearly signed up for it in Leicester.
Oh, okay.
And I think the whole thing is like you all jog there or cycle there.
Yeah.
And
fitness aspect sort of thing.
And then help a community garden or whatever, and like, but because it is like I suppose when both of you, I'm sure, have done those kind of jobs of like, what was I doing? I ended up doing like landscaping for like a few days with
I remember you telling me about this.
And whenever I tell people that I've been doing landscaping, the amount of times that Ryan or Bondi are just like, why are you doing...
You were doing roofing at one point.
I was doing roofing.
No, you were covered in tar. Was it tar that you were covered in? Or some sort of paint?
I was covered in waterproof paint.
Like a membrane, yeah.
Yeah, and it just doesn't come off.
No.
Yeah.
Sore figure.
Mm.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, I was just seeing the time.
Time tap there.
Usually I can see, but I can't see today.
Yeah.
We've gone way past his bedtime.
Oh,
Past his
it's
bedtime.
my fault 'cause we were late.
I've got to be up at
Oh,
2
yeah.
And
It's
just
2 in the morning.
to go to Stansted.
Oh, my God. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I don't like, because either way, I'm having a coffee now because I've had a headache all day because I haven't had a coffee.
Ah, I get
And
it.
so, and this is a terrible idea. Like what I've done here. But
You're talking to someone that drinks 2 cans of Monster at about half
Yeah, when
8.
we have games night, he brings
you are a younger brother, Jordan.
Oh, I really am. I really am. And then
There is a game I highly recommend. Mapanos.
Mapanos. Okay.
It's dominoes, but with maps. And so
Okay.
you get like, say you got like Hungary,
Yeah.
and it will have all the countries that border it. And if you've got that country, you can lay it down.
Oh, okay.
It's a fantastic game.
That's
Highly
okay.
Oh,
recommend it.
board game.
It's a board game.
Oh, sorry, you lost me for a second.
Did you not clock?
Mapanos.
No.
Cards.
He pulled his phone out. I thought he was talking about a phone game.
No, I was doing 2 things at once.
Write
Mapanos.
it down.
got
Mapanos.
some
That's
others.
right. I can remember that.
I've got some
You
other
need to buy
stories in here.
That's right.
And there's a UK version. There's a
Beep.
Europe version.
Ooh.
Beeves, the gamekeeper. He's
I
got
am the
hundreds
gamekeeper.
of games.
Love it.
Hundreds of
So many board
games.
games. Such a board game nerd.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I should jump onto Hero of the Week.
Okay, you definitely should.
we just do.
Hang on, we can
push
do
it
this
along.
segment now.
I've got quick fire.
Oh, go on for it. Go for it.
Quick fire positive news stories.
Hit
that
us.
I'm just going off the
That's fine.
because it won't open up. A 70. Oh, I read this very briefly. A 73-year-old great granddad, I think in Derbyshire, completed his GCSEs. This
I did
Solid.
see this. I
Yeah,
did see
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
completed his GCSEs, so he left school at 15.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
see this.
And now he's 73 and he finally went back and got his GCSEs. He just never was able to do it. Quick fire. Thank you, Derbyshire. M&S takes another step towards removing 1 billion units of plastic as it becomes the first retailer to use paper packaging on garlic baguettes. Very
So,
specific.
yeah,
but-
so random.
But it works.
Because more and more shops are doing it, of using less of that kind of packaging. I think I told you about it once, Ryan, where what would bother me, I try and shop as well as not drinking, not smoking, and not eating meat. I try and also shop ethically, but it's somewhat hard to do, but then all it takes is one Google
Yeah.
to be like,
true.
what's the most ethical retailer on the high street? And it's M&S. It's the most ethical
doesn't
retailer.
Very surprising. No, that's
But-
quite surprising to be fair.
Really?
A lot of the clothes from M&S, I don't want to wear it. I'm not an old man.
No, that's true.
Like, you know.
That's very true.
But then sometimes it is really nice. It's just it's a bit more like fair trade, and that people get paid better
okay.
and fairly and stuff like that. There was also a thing in the news about a little thing in Next where the people who work in the Next is quite bad.
It doesn't surprise me.
Oh.
At all.
Where the people who work in head office, which is just outside of Leicester, they get a massive Christmas party. If you work in one of the stores, you're not invited to the big Next Christmas party.
Really?
It's really bad. There are gaps between the people who work in head office and people who work in the stores are huge.
Jeez.
And they've just won a legal case where the women, especially the women who were working in the stores, were being paid less than the men who work in the warehouses. And they've only just managed to rectify that.
Crazy how it still
I've
happens.
As if
Don't know.
Next were in their
Got
sort
a
of
few
like...
really quick fire ones. I've just lost that one.
Oh,
It was something to do with University of West England. I've lost it. I clicked on the link. And I will never get it back. It was something to do with the University of West England, the other university near Bristol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't like that. It's called UE. UE.
UE.
So I say UE. Turn around. UE.
Come on in.
Okay, thanks. Right. So here.
Hero of the
Hero
week.
of the
Am I still going to introduce? No,
I think
that's
so.
Gonna be, we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be 40 minutes in and I'm doing it now.
That's fine. Yeah.
Fine. Hero of the week.
So my hero of the week is a beloved grandma she sadly passed away. I mean, we do that all the time. We go, it's a really lovely message, but they're dead. She lived one hell of a life though, and she left a really like so many messages behind. It sort of goes hand in hand with what we were chatting about with your 100-year-old veteran back in episode 16, I want to say.
Yeah.
How the older generation have such insight into life and how they have like way more meaning and stories that actually have an impact on you. So her name is, here we go, Branyas Morera, and she lived to the impressive age of 117. And her grandchildren. So she had 11 grandchildren and 13 great-grandchildren. Thankfully, Brianna's daughter had the idea of getting her grandmother linked to X or Twitter. When she started. She managed to share her posts with the world, and she took to it like a fish to water with 849 posts since 2019.
Does it say how she lived to that age? Because I always ask these people.
I would love to know.
What did you do to live to this age? It's like, I had a beer.
French lady who lived to like 118 or something.
Oh,
she
really?
was just like cigarettes and tennis.
Yeah.
That's all she said.
She was
cigarettes
active,
and tennis.
calm.
That's it,
I
yeah.
I do believe that if you live a very calm life, you will live a very long time.
Stress-free life?
Yeah, stress-free life. I think you'll live.
I think it's just potluck.
But it's also, it is genetic.
Genetic, yeah.
Where certain countries have higher, but then it also depends how well looked after you are within your own countries.
It's true, environment and stuff like that. But yeah, so on New Year's Day 2023, so these are a couple. I'll do a couple of her tweets. So she said, "Life is not eternal for anyone. At my age, a new year is a new gift, a humble celebration, a new adventure, a beautiful journey, a moment of happiness. Let's enjoy life together." This is the stuff that she's just putting out there. She's just a constant stream of just happiness. I say that she isn't all sunshine and rainbows. There are some that are quite bleak, but I have to
help.
Yeah,
so old. I don't want to be alive anymore.
I mean, we said this, didn't we? We said, "Would you want to live to 100?" And it was like, if I was able-bodied, maybe, but if I was in that stage of like decrepitness, nah, just cut me off. Would you? What would you?
Because you're not really
living.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing.
Just existing.
Yeah.
You were talking. Maybe it was in the last one where I've been thinking about it more and more. Where sometimes I think of life as if we live from 0 to 100.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it's just like, well, yeah.
You have a timeline sort of thing.
And it doesn't work that way. Someone described something recently as a really nice way of doing it. It's just how many times you've been around the sun.
Oh yeah. So
that's all.
A very bleak way of looking at things, isn't it?
And then also you're like, I didn't realise this is just wow, that's good to know. Real quick little fact for you. In South Korea, they had to change how they age people because you're born one. Oh. Everyone is given the same birthday.
Oh.
So you've got your day you're born on.
Yeah.
So you have 3 birthdays essentially. You
the
have the day you're born on.
Yeah.
You have January 1st.
Yeah.
And you're born 1. You're not born 0. You're born 1. So if you're born January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, whatever, like that, sometimes you can be 3 within like months.
Okay, yeah.
And so it's getting really, really confusing for other people and stuff like that. So like,
been using rare candy.
Like when you've been in care homes and stuff like that, and there was one like wedding one, and there's like poor like when you're all hunched over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And some of that is also just from no one's looked after you.
Yeah,
and it feels really sad. This like lady, she couldn't talk anymore. She was just squeaking, and like just doing that.
Jeez.
And it's a bit like it's a real tough one. And I think the laws around it are getting a lot better. And I think you'll see vast improvement.
Yeah, definitely.
Book and a film recommendation. Never Let Me Go.
Oh, you're not going to watch it then? You don't do film recommendations?
No.
I'll watch it.
I'll take my books back.
Never Let Me Go.
Never Let Me Go. It's a Japanese author, but the film of it's really good. I remember watching it in the cinema when I was in my second year of uni, and the whole cinema at the end was just weeping like that, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, it's really good though because it's kind of like science fiction-y.
Okay.
Clones, and we use clones to harvest their organs.
Okay, yeah.
To live forever.
Okay.
That's how you get a recommendation in.
Yeah, okay. You have to sell it.
I like
Andrew Garfield is in it.
I'll watch it anyway.
Spider-Man.
I'll watch it. I know he is, yeah.
Yeah. He's not Spider-Man in the...
just harvesting
Spider-Man.
Harvesting organs from
he's
some
a clone
point.
and has to prove that he's can love someone because he believes that will mean they won't harvest his organs.
Fine.
It's pretty good.
I'll watch it.
Sell it.
Mm.
Okay. Back to... I'll try and
Sorry.
bring it... No, that's fine. It's what we do all the time. We end up going on a tangent and then suddenly go, whoop, we're back. It's like... It feels like we've cut like half of what we were talking about out and then I jump straight back into the story without even like easing it into it. But yeah, so I'll leave it then with her final message, which again is very, very impactful. And she goes... her family tweeted on the day that she passed, or I say tweeted on the day that she passed, like a big, she's dead. She said to her family, "I don't know when, but very soon this long journey will come to an end. Death will find me worn down from having lived so much, but I want it to find me smiling, free, and satisfied.
Nice.
They were the last words that she
Very
spoke.
sweet.
I would love to have such a powerful message to say when I die, but I guarantee I'm going to be sitting there doing what I do on the podcast. I'm like,
What's that word?
what's that word I want to say?
Yeah.
Gone.
Just
Yeah.
dead. Yeah, yeah, it's going to hit me flatlined.
I think for a lot of people now, and it is mad. I'm currently listening to an audio book of a thing called Shogun, and it is really, if you're into like, there's an English merchant pirate in the 1600s. He goes to Japan. He meets these Portuguese people because Portugal had control over some parts of Japan, but because it's in the 1600s, if you're talking about someone who's 40, they're like, he's decrepit.
Yeah.
He's so old and
Ancient.
40 and stuff like that. So, but I think now anyone under the age of 80, if you die before 80, people are like, oh,
Yeah.
like,
Died early. Yeah.
And so even when I was watching the news yesterday with my mum and like about Sven Goran Eriksson,
Oh, of course, yeah.
and he's
74 or
70,
76. Yeah.
76,
Yeah.
and she's like, that's too young. But like,
Mm.
but he, what is it? It was like a year. And he's like, I've got a year to live. I've been given this terminal diagnosis. Like, I've got a year, and like
Jeez.
lived it out.
Yeah.
Very,
I bet.
Like, very nice. If you, there's a lovely documentary about him. I know it's really, really
Okay.
sweet.
Nice.
I think anything, if 80, you know, I'll take
80's not old. I mean, I look at my granddad. He's 80 something, and he's still going on holidays and doing jazz. So
Mm.
80's young these days.
doing jazz.
But then,
Not that actual.
but I
jazz.
don't know if I'd kicked it at 80.
I'd be satisfied.
I'll be happy. Yeah.
I'd be satisfied.
But then I don't know. It also depends what time, especially with retirement ages going up, because you at least want,
a little bit of time
I
to
think,
chill.
15, 20 years of retirement.
Yeah.
Because if you're living, say, if this person retired at 60
Yeah.
and you live nearly another 60 years.
Oh yeah, that's a long time to go, isn't it? Just doing nothing.
Bored.
I'll be bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And as your body can't
So
do
much
the
Football
things
Manager.
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah.
How many seasons would we do?
Oh my goodness.
God, you'd be actually sick of it after a while. Who knows?
Yeah. So like that would just be, I think if I started losing my cognitive
Yes,
facilities,
yeah. That's what we were saying. So
Yeah.
it's a case of if
shoot me out to the
yeah,
moon.
yeah,
and
just
like
take
that.
me away. If I'm a burden on someone, just take me out. I don't want to be the
that's also
burden.
a big part of it. a big
But yeah,
part.
so that's when we were talking about it, and the new thing now is give an old person a plant to look after, and apparently it helps them cognitive wise because they feel like they have something to keep alive, and
What
that
if the plant dies. And you're
When
just there like,
someone
I
just
can't
sign,
do anything.
right?
someone just
Oh.
swaps it out in the
Oh.
middle of the
Yeah,
night.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's back to life again, and we
Blue
keep going.
Peter dogs it. Yeah,
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
this plant was fine the whole time. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It looks different. No, it's the same one. Trust me. Just overnight, it's moved about it. But yeah, no. So yeah, it was a really good aspect. And then they give them the options. They give them the choices of things to do rather than going today, Deirdre, you're painting. Yeah, and she's sitting there going
Yeah, where
Painting
it's-
away. Whereas now it's you can either do painting, you can do bingo, you can do I don't know water polo. You choose.
Mhm.
And then they go, and they've actually got to use their brain to sort of think, what do I actually want to do today? It's like, so it gives you that, I suppose, power back, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I really like, though, and I don't think we're going to see it much anymore. We see it now, but I think when I'm an old man, I'm not going to be, because I like when old men go out dressed in suits.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
But
proper-
nothing.
That's not going to be a
proper
They're
problem.
not
old
doing
school
anything.
suits. No.
It's going to be grey tracksuit bottoms.
Yeah.
Like going around wearing that.
That's
like, and
definitely
a hoodie.
a generational thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Hands all tattooed up.
yeah.
Like going
Oh.
around,
Yeah.
bobbing away.
The nose
So-
rings, the ear loops, the
Oh, the holes
whole
in the
kit and
ears.
caboodle. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of that going on. So, like, which again, I don't have any problem with whatsoever
No,
because I don't like it when my aunt was talking about it's like all these people, all tattoos. What are they going to look like when they're 80? I don't know. They're going to look like 80. Like they're going to look
Tattoos.
old. I don't care. Like let them look
Wrinklier
old.
versions of themselves.
Yeah,
That's all that's going to change.
and I have something to be like, what's that? Tattoos have been outlawed for years, Grandad.
Mm.
What's that going on? And I saw a little meme of someone with doing like a little cartoon, and that's basically all memes are now, aren't they? Just little cartoons or something.
Yeah.
Where it's just like an old millennial,
Okay.
and so someone in a wheelchair being like, I saw a pupper, very good pupper, good waggy dog pupper. It had so much floof like that, and that's just like what some people are going to be like.
Yeah. Well, you said
Quoting.
you said pretty much that, which was the generation like of people that are here nowadays when they get to that stage of being sort of more, it's literally happening again. We'll just say decrepit and old. Geriatric was the word I was thinking of. Geriatric. It's just going to be hilarious because you're going to have a generation of snowflakes people that are now like 80, 90. Can't say that. No. We didn't say that back
Whereas
when
the
we were young.
generation now,
They don't care anymore. You've got
filter.
Shane Gillis bringing back being able to say things like gay and like
Yeah.
retarded and stuff like that in comedy and things like that. Mainly in America, obviously, but yeah. And then you're going to have people that go, no, you can't say that. No. Really reserved generations.
I think maybe what if they turned all of the fens into a free range old people's home? Just these lovely, so it's flat, so you don't have to worry about
that's
your
true.
ankles and knees.
True.
Yeah.
And you just roam.
Just roam in
the fields out there
The small hills that we
all
have.
day. Yeah. And that'll be it. Like, you know, that's also why running's very good here.
Yeah, that's true. I
Easy.
suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Mm.
Right.
Okay.
I think we should call it.
We want to call it?
Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah. I'm happy to call it. I mean, we're an hour and 20 in, so we've done
so
a
much editing.
solid
Have
bit.
fun editing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my job.
I'll leave that to you.
Or you have to do the editing.
I do the
Yeah.
editing each week. Yeah.
I do all the social media posts.
His social media
It's nice
posts are
little-
amazing.
Nice little dynamic.
Very, very well.
Yeah.
Very well.
I put some effort into it, you know?
Mm.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, thank you for listening.
Oh, yeah.
Please don't gatekeep us. No, I'm not going to say that one. If you like it, please share, subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
And we ask every week, please send us an email on KTGGTKpod@outlook.com. Send us a good news story, hero of the week, a funny story, a fact, anything.
Literally anything.
Just engage and
Be another guest. No,
Be
I'm
another
joking.
guest.
I feel
Yeah,
like
why
we
not?
should. I feel like we should give it time. We should give it time. We need to at least have the fact that we've had Jack Campbell on, and you know, give it a bit of time before we get another guest on, just so
Okay.
people can relish in it.
And I
Because
think
this is a solid episode.
We've not got a queue of people.
We haven't got a
wanting to
queue of
come
people
on,
that want to
so-
come on. I was going to say, I was quite surprised that you wanted to come on in the first place, to be truly honest with you. I was like,
I was
no
in
way.
the area. Right.
Oh, that's what
Literally what it was.
I felt like I should add to my
Yeah,
sort
I
of
wanted-
generosity
I
aspect
wanted
and
to
help you
come-
out.
I wanted to come on it anyway. It's just kind of, but because now it's like a 4-hour drive for me to come in. Rather than it used to be 2.
Yeah.
But I think you should be getting people on from like local charities and stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
We'd like to do it. We should
Yeah.
get someone
Who
from
has a
Magpas and stuff
story.
like that.
Yeah, we should do it.
Be a really good idea.
We should do it.
So we are essentially part of your charity.
Yeah.
Your statistics
This
for the
was
UK
my-
to
There you go.
bump up
I
the
helped
numbers.
out these 2 boys.
you can ask for more money now when
Yeah,
you do
yeah,
your
yeah.
charity gig.
Yeah.
I've already done it. I've done one back down the fence. Got to pay me a bit more. Pay me at least for food. But yeah, so if you want to see some of the posts that we've just spoken about at KTGGTKpod on Instagram and TikTok. I don't really do YouTube shorts anymore.
No, we can't.
Apologies for that one, but
That's fine.
far too much stuff to be able to. I'm too busy to do that kind of stuff. God. That is pretty much it. So if you want to hear another episode of Know the Good to Know, look out for every Monday. Tuesday,
Same time every
Tuesday
Monday.
this week. Sorry,
Yeah.
but it has.
Nobody
been bank
complained.
holiday. No, good. But yeah, so stay positive,
Stay positive. Thank you, everybody.
and we'd like to say
Yeah.
thank you to
very
Jack
much.
Campbell.
I
for being
forgot
on the
about you.
show.
It's just nice seeing
Thanks,
it.
Jack.
It's nice being in the flesh rather than listening to the ending of it. Of yeah.
Usually we have like a little script to read and it's a bit more formal. But
Yeah, I was gonna say. Usually there's a
Good.
bit more stuff in here.
I'll
As well.
take a
Yeah.
photo of you with the books.
Okay.
The book
Yeah.
haul.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Thanks.
Sign off.